I read a quote last week. It was from Bill Gates, I think. And he said people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And that was really inspiring because thinking of it right now, it's 31st of December. It's 3 o'clock now. So we only have 9 more hours in this year. Thinking of that right now, I realize how quickly a year can go. But on the other hand, there's also a lot of stuff that can happen in a year. I mean, last year, what happened? Yeah, a lot actually, can't remember. One of the highlights for me actually was the tour at the Illusia factory. It was really interesting to make a different type of video and also interesting to, first of all, get invited. I mean, I wasn't expecting that when I started my YouTube channel. I thought of a lot of things when I started my YouTube channel, but it turns out there were also a lot of things that I didn't think about when I started the channel. And that's an interesting thing because the way I work is not necessarily with things like New Year's resolutions. I like to make them and I like to think about them, although I would say there are more New Year's wishes than New Year's resolutions or New Year's promises. I think that's a better word, New Year's promises. But in general, the problem that I have with New Year's resolutions is that why does it have to start on the 1st of January? If I come up with an idea, I want to start with it right now. And that's one of the things that I'm going towards is it is difficult to start with something. And it was also difficult to start a YouTube channel, like literally starting. That's one of the most difficult steps there is. It's all psychological, I think. But waiting until a moment to start with it and then all of a sudden starting with it, that's not how I work. I rather start right now and make a lot of mistakes. I'm a real trial and error type of guy. And I think that you guys seen it throughout the years. I made a few mistakes in some videos. Luckily, the internet is very honest in giving me feedback on that. And I've learned a lot, about that and looking from it from another direction, from my own perspective. I made, different types of videos. I've always looked at the stats and at the comments and at everything to see if it was a good video to make and a good direction to make. One example is the videos that I made while mixing a track. I really enjoyed making them, but it turns out that they do not really work on the YouTube channel. So I'm not going to focus on making them a lot because it's just not a genre that I can tackle, let's say right now, because maybe I find a way to show you mixing in the future, but right now it's difficult. And I think for all of that you need a very objective view of yourself and maybe in general an objective view. I think pure objectivity is not something that we humans are capable of. I mean, we all have an opinion. I also have a very colored opinion about a lot of stuff, but I'm sometimes also a bit too much down to earth. maybe that's it. And what I mean with that is you have to be objective about yourself. So as soon as you discover that something is working and you enjoy it, although other people would disagree with that, just continue doing it. I think in general people are too much interested in what other people think of them, and because of that not really dared to go in a different direction or in a different route. We rather stick to a path that we know works from the past, but we don't dare to go, Robin Hood style, rogue, whatever, go our own direction. Now there is one thing that I'm going to do more in 2020 than I did in 2019, which maybe sounds a bit strange, but it's a problem that I had and I already started fixing it. So a few months ago, I already started implementing this in my life, but I think it's very inspiring to talk about the subject. And what I call it is focus. I want to be more focused on what I'm actually doing. So from a business perspective, there are 2 things that I want to focus on. First thing is running my business, which is not including YouTube because YouTube is the second thing. But running my mixing and mastering business should take 50% of my capacity and the YouTube channel should take the other 50% of the capacity. Now this sounds of course very logical, but in general, I think I see it in the whole society. Everybody is very distracted from things. It's partly because of social media. I mean, it's very easy that during that 1 or 2 minutes that you have nothing to do because you're waiting on something or whatever, to get out your phone and scroll down your Instagram feed or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And we do that because we're scared of being bored or something. What happens then is that 2 minutes turn into 10 minutes and you're wasting a lot of your own time. Now, I believe there's more to it than just the time wasting, I think that it's actually not good for our brains to be so involved in things. I think that it's toxic. I think that in 10 or 20 years from now, we will see a lot of new, I would say brain diseases, but maybe psychological things or whatever. We would see a lot of things that we haven't heard from before. I really think and believe that. I have no scientific evidence to back it up, but it's just how I feel about it. And that is because I sometimes feel very tired at the end of the day because I've, worked hard, and then also that social media stuff is buzzing the whole time. Or not buzzing because I've turned off all notifications, but it's there and you're looking at it and you're thinking about it, and it occupies some part of your brain. So that's one of the parts. Now, how I'm doing that, the social media, is actually very simple. I've just deleted the apps from my phone because that's where it goes wrong. I'm only allowing productivity apps on my phone right now. I have no games. I'm not really a gamer, so there were no games on my phone already. And I now also deleted Instagram and Twitter. I think those were the two. Facebook I never had on my phone. I'm about to delete Facebook Messenger as well. Now, the other thing that is, I think, a bit connected to social media is worrying about things that I have no control of. And that those can be small things, for instance, in your business, that there's something that is really out of your control that is happening, but also bigger things. I worried a lot about the normal stuff, the things like climate change and politics and news and whatever was happening. I worried about it a lot, and the thing that I discovered is that it doesn't matter how much I worry about it because I'm powerless. And I think that 2020, at least for me, will be really about that, like maintaining focus and making sure to get less distracted. Now, I hope that I inspired you guys a bit with this video. I didn't script this video and I didn't know where I would be going with this video before I started recording. And my whole point of this video is really trying to inspire people and posting a video for the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, just giving you guys some insight in how I think. So wishing you all a very good new year. If you are on a side of the world where it's already 2020, then I hope everything went well. I know that I'm a bit late with this video, but I just remembered that I should make it. So yeah, I'm going to edit this right now. Thanks a lot for 2019, all of you guys. And I hope you guys stay with me in 2020. Got some awesome stuff coming up in January already. It's already in the process. So I'll see you guys. Have a great night and bye-bye.